Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow with his 50th rushing touchdown, breaking a record that had been held by Herschel Walker. And a moment ago, Tracy Wolfson with Georgia coach Mark Richt.
Coach, you're down 14 early. They climbed back in. They got fired up, and then 10 straight points. What happened there?
Well, we didn't play good defense, and the penalties are killing us on both sides of the ball right now. You know, again, it's been happening all year. We need to quit those self-inflicted wounds. And we're, like you said, we're down 14 before. We get within 4, so we can turn this thing around again. But we gotta keep from shooting ourselves in the foot.
AJ Green, just 2 catches. How do you get him more involved?
Oh, you've got to throw it to him more, probably.
Thanks, Coach.
I gotta say hello to my friend Chance too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Chance is Chance Vesey, a freshman baseball player at the University of Georgia who was severely injured in a motor scooter accident last Wednesday, and very much on Mark Richt's mind today. Caleb Sturgis will kick off. Georgia gets the ball. They've got Brandon Boykin back to return it, and he will take this one out. But not very far. And so we began the third. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson. Perceptions thus far.
Well, yeah, Florida's just a little too good to be beating yourself, as Mark Richt said. There is, I think, a way to move the ball, but you have to involve A.J. Green. He was able to take coverage away. But, you know, when Georgia can only run the ball for 30, 40 yards in the first half, I just don't know if that's enough. You know, you need both to move the ball effectively because it looks like Florida has found their offense.
And Georgia has been, for the season, a pretty one-dimensional team. Let's see what happens. As Mark Richt just said to Tracy, we got to throw it to him more. And there was a dead ball, personal foul on Florida.
Well, remember the end of that half, Georgia was in decent field position, and then they had a sack and a punt. It just kind of deteriorated. They could have got out of that half 17-10. They didn't.
Word from the sideline that the foul was on number 7, Williams. First down and 10. Whoa! Batted in the air. Intercepted. A.J. Jones first deflected it, then grabbed it.
Carlos Dunlap and A.J. Jones were to that outside on the left side. It was A.J. Jones, tips it and gets it.
Second interception in as many games for A.J. Jones. Alert play by him to keep the ball in sight. And Joe Cox, sadly, has now thrown an interception in every game.
And you know, that's blocked the way it should be. When you're throwing the quick screen, you do not block the end man on the line of scrimmage. It's the quarterback's job to get it past him.
David Nelson starts in motion. Handoff up the middle. It's Demps. So the last thing in the world Georgia wanted or needed, and a little altercation between Spikes.
And look at this. For the second time this year, Florida goes from the I formation with Tim Tebow under center. Last time Rainey took it to the house, and this time he finds the crease. Don't you get the feeling that Rainey and Moody and Demps, excuse me, it was Demps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is a lot. They are very comfortable from the I formation. We're going to see another one.
So this is the third time in Tim Tebow's career he's taken a snap under center. Last week at Mississippi State led to a Rainey touchdown. Here's the handoff at left guard. And it was a big play, Gary, last week, that Rainey touchdown.
Well, yes, they were struggling. Florida was so much in the red zone. They decided to go back, hand the ball off, and Rainey just walks in. I believe, Vern, that this offense was put in, 3 weeks ago now for LSU. When they thought John Brantley was going to play, they dialed up the I because Brantley can't get hit like Tebow. They kept working on it, and now they've unveiled it for another phase of their +20 offense.
First down and goal. Their numbers inside the red zone have been woeful, but not anymore. Touchdown, Tebow. Second rushing, and he's also thrown for 2.
This is called the load option. And what you do is you load it up to the strong side, you block the end man on the line of scrimmage, and you run it like a sweep with only one pitch to the outside. Tebow's so strong, if you don't take him out of the play right away, he's going to make that touchdown.
Prior to this possession, Florida had been 2 touchdowns in its last 15 trips inside the 20. But on their first venture into the red zone this afternoon, they get the touchdown and extend the lead to 31-10.
Watch Aaron Hernandez, number 81, get upfield and take out a couple people, and then Burgess, the fullback, goes downfield and makes a great throwing block. That fullback is taught to take out the outside leg of the outside guy.
Steve Adazio gets a hug from Tim Tebow. Joe Cox on the left has now thrown an interception in each of Georgia's 8 games this year. And Tim Tebow, after the A.J. Jones tip and interception, it was all up to Tebow, Gary.
And, you know, they did it with the I formation and then the option play. It's kind of interesting. He went over to Moody afterwards. He goes, I was trying to pitch to you, but the guy wouldn't leave you, so I had to run it in. And you know what? All this comparisons between these two guys, no asterisks needed. They're both 2 of the greatest players that ever played in college football.
Absolutely. And Tebow, of course, 51 rushing touchdowns from the quarterback position. Georgia advocates will point out that Herschel played only 3 years, and he also had 5 touchdowns that didn't count because they were scored in the Sugar Bowl. And here is an open field tackle by Cade Holliday. He's a senior, was a walk-on, and that's the second big play he's made on special teams today.
I tell you, he kind of deked out the wedge and then threw his body back out to the outside. He had a big block early in the game, too.
Now let's take a look at the trends in the ball game, Garrett.
Well, you know, I thought this was a real football game. I agree with Mark Richt. They came back and made a game of it. Cox had thrown some passes, got it to 14-10. I think that 56-yard field goal was really breaking the back of that Georgia team.
First down and 10. Draw play. Chappis, the fullback, and he's tackled by Joe Hayden. Nice. It's Wayshawn Ely, number 24.
Fakes one way, comes back the other way, following Bowling right up the middle. You know, last week, Vern, against Vandy, Georgia rushed for 173 yards, but 120 of them were in the 4th quarter. So they kept coming and coming and coming. Now, this just in. This ain't Vandy's defense here, you know.
From the eye, Chappis, the lead blocker. Ely breaks into the secondary. All the way out to the 49-yard line. Will Hill with the tackle.
Well, good blocking up front. Twice the Georgia team runs the ball right up the middle, but one thing that stands out about Florida is they play their safety back, and he's a safety. And in case a play is busted, he's the last guy that keeps a huge play into a first down play. As Bobby Bowden said the other day, I saw him, somebody said, what are you going to do about these big plays? Move our safeties back a little bit.
Here's Cox back to throw. Batted down for the second time in the half, and for the second time, it's A.J. Jones. Let's go down to Tracy.
Guys, Wayshawn Ely wears Noshawn Marino's number 24, but he didn't ask for it. He actually wanted to wear his high school number 3. He plans to make the switch after the season when safety Brian Evans graduates. That number treated him well in high school. He finished with over 8,100 yards and a Georgia high school record of 133 touchdowns. In his junior and senior years, he rushed for more yards than people in his hometown of Twin City, Georgia, guys.
He gets it again and crossed the 50. Well, we've got a moment. Let's go back to Tim Brando in New York.
Vern, at halftime, we showed you that Michigan had been stuffed at the goal line by Illinois. After that, they drove 70 yards and got a touchdown. Here again, Juice Williams with a touchdown pass, where Ron Zook could really use the W if the Illini can hang on today, the former Florida coach. And Northwestern and Penn State are now tied at 10. Back to you.
All right, Tim. It was Ron Zook in his years as the head coach of Florida, having succeeded Steve Spurrier, who once famously said, right before he got fired, there's noise in the system. Here's a play fake. Cox, deep.
Oh,
Nice catch. A.J. Green.
remember that play I drew up earlier? Same play. Tight end crosses, but I'll tell you, since Calvin Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald, no one does it better than this guy. I mean, watch his body control coming across the middle of the field, goes inside the zone, stretches it, square cut, and look at that catch. I'll tell you, that's about a 10-yard circle you can throw the ball in when you got a guy like that. That is beautiful.
And it's a first down. Georgia, his third catch in the ball game. This is Richard Samuel, number 22. Again, Georgia using a variety of running backs because they have not found the answer. Spikes and Marsh combined for that one. Lawrence Marsh, excuse me, Gary, he's back after 6 weeks out with a high ankle sprain.
Wasn't it last week that Florida played against Mississippi State with only 2 healthy defensive tackles? I like this drive by Mike Bobo, though. He's not panicked. Still a lot of time in the football game. You got to chip away at the score.
Ely is the running back alongside Joe Cox. 31-10. Cox keeps it and cuts right. He's got a first down as he crosses the 20-yard line. The tackle made by Will Hill.
Well, this was the zone read this time. The same play from the shotgun that everybody's running. He reads the defensive end, gets down there, and then a couple fakes and not even a hint of a backup there from Will Hill. Good read by Joe Cox, though. Successful drive. 7 plays already in this drive.
Well, already 41 yards on this drive. Accumulated 34 previously in the game. First down and 10. Play action. Cox pulls up, and this one almost picked off. Intended for Orson Charles, and Ahmad Black was close. A.J. Jones pressured.
A.J. Green makes those catches, but some guys can't, huh?
Noticed.
Yeah, you don't expect that catch as a quarterback, but you sure appreciate it, don't you?
Second and 10. It's Ely back in the running back spot. Twin receivers set bottom of the screen. Florida plays with 4 down. They'll bring a backer off the edge, and Ely goes up the middle, gets to the 15, maybe the 14.5-yard line. It's Will Hill again.
Well, with a 21-point game here, if I'm Mike Bobo, I am definitely thinking 4-down territory here. This time the zone read, he hands it off and gives it another successful play.
3rd and 5.
I figure I got 2 shots here to get this first down if I'm Georgia.
Cox will change. Well, they try to test the left guard spot, and they'll come up short. William Green, number 96, makes the tackle.
That time, I think Joe Cox would like to have this one over and keep it this time. He read, and I think William Green hit hard down the line. I thought Joe Cox should have kept that one.
Spikes a part of the tackle. 4th down. Chappis and Ely in the backfield. Timeout, Georgia. 31-10, 4th down when we come back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, Progressive Insurance, Warner Brothers The Blind Side, and by Chick-fil-A. 4th down 3, and the Georgia offense back on the field after the timeout.
Mark Richt looked at the clock and was trying to decide what to do, and then he went to his offensive line and said, I don't want another pass block knocked down. He was in their face that whole timeout.
Ely is the tailback. Cox has 2 wide receivers left side, and the tight end, Orson Charles, split off wide right. Nice. 1st down at the 6, Orson Charles. And Ahmad Black was defending.
That was not a great throw from Joe Cox, and Orson Charles made a nice catch on that one. Had him one-on-one to the outside. AJ, was that tipped again?
It looked like it was. Cunningham. Let's see.
I think that ball might have been tipped again. It was. The running back did not get up there and take the legs away from Cunningham.
1st and goal. Ely to the 3. Take a look at this, Gary, from behind the quarterback.
Well, the running back needs to cheat up a little bit and take the legs away from these, on a quick throw like that, these big, aggressive, outside defensive ends. And that was a nice adjustment by Charles, excuse me.
2nd down goal.
The running back's got to just go dive at his